This podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Shubham Shrivastava. Shubham is the head of machine learning at Kodiak. Shubham, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So Shubham, let's start with yourself, please, as we do with all of our guests. Could you give us a little bit of an overview of your background in technology and what your journey has been from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and what's led you to where you are today as the head of ML for Kodiak?
I started my career about 10 years ago in the automotive industry. I was fortunate enough to start working with autonomous vehicle prototypes and really got exposed to these fascinating possibilities. It is funny that at the time, all of these vehicles looked very similar, rotating Velodyne LiDAR on top. Now these vehicles look very different. Around that time, I also got to work with many SoCs and specific hardware accelerators. I was building neural nets at the time for many computer vision applications, such as 3D object detections with LiDARs, cameras, lane detection, optimizing them, deploying an Int8 quantized version of these on low-cost, low-power chips, which really prepared me for building real products. I moved on to Ford Greenfield Labs in Palo Alto in 2019, where I continued to build various AI products. I was leading the perception team for Ford Autonomy, where we built many of the AI models that are seen as state-of-the-art in perception today, including bird's eye view perception from multi-view cameras, monocular 3D object detection, camera radar fusion. And the best part is we optimized all of these models to work under 50 milliseconds on a low power chip costing less than $100 and thus ready to be deployed in mass production. During this time, I started realizing how important autonomous trucking is, and it really became critically obvious during the pandemic. Major issues with trucking today is that we face a huge shortage of driver of the order of tens of thousands, and the number is only going to increase to an estimation of hundreds of thousands. Nobody wants to do that kind of job. It keeps people away from friends and family for days and weeks together. Therefore, there is a huge deficit. Couple that with safety and environmental benefits of autonomy, and you can already see how important autonomous trucking is for the masses. So I moved to Kodiak in 2023 to see to it that the future of autonomous trucking comes to fruition, and I've been leading all things AI there.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you walking us through your journey and how it's led to where you are today. So you talked about the reason for joining Kodiak. So let's set the stage. Tell us all about Kodiak from a high level, who you are, what you do, mission of the business.
Kodiak's mission is to automate vehicles that perform dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs. We have identified 3 business segments where we execute on this mission. The first one is long-haul trucking, which is a difficult and dangerous jobs that keep people away from family for days, weeks, and even months. The second one is off-road driving with US Defense, where we are working with DIU, the Defense Innovation Unit, on the RCV program that will allow us to remove service members from high-risk recon missions through the use of our dual-use technology. And the third one is industrial segment, where we operate in difficult environmental bays, such as Permian Basin, 24/7, 365 days. If you look it up, it is a deserty area where not many people want to live. There is not much to do there, and the weather is harsh. It is also extremely difficult to hire drivers and operators there because of these challenges. These are exactly the reasons why our partnership with Alldus Energy Solutions makes sense. We have been operating there hauling sand without any driver in the vehicle, which is first of its kind and really defines what is truly possible with autonomy today. Towards this mission, we are likely the only company to have built a truly generalizable embodied intelligence and AI that works on variation of operational domains from highways to unstructured off-road environments on the platforms spanning from semi-trucks to pickup trucks to even tracked vehicles for robotic combat vehicles. Over the past decade or so, we have heard many companies making promises about autonomous vehicles existing just around the corner. But for Kodiak, driverless autonomous vehicles are a reality today. We are the first autonomous semi-truck company to establish commercial driverless operation and the first company to make autonomous trucking a real business.
Amazing, amazing. So there's so much to unpack there, but I want to jump straight into your role as the head of ML. Can you describe the main function and focus of your position, and then give us a broader overview of the team that you work with, typical projects and project lifecycle?
AI is the core technology that has allowed us to build a really robust autonomy system. We built what we call modular cognitive architecture, which allows us to put together a suite of verifiable state-of-the-art AI models as Lego blocks. Within the realm of MCA, we can build many neural paths within the system, with each of them expressing some measurement in the world and the uncertainty thereof. One of the major principles we have adopted here at Kodiak is that we want to learn everything, but we never require perfection from any single model. And this results in an overall architecture that is highly resilient and there is no single path to failure. Our suite of AI models include all kinds of neural nets, ranging from foundation models to spatiotemporal multimodal models to vision language models. We are focused on three major things. The first one is gathering the best data. The second one is smart labeling with a combination of pre-labeling with foundation models and human-in-the-loop refinement. And the third one is building the best-in-class AI model to solve the problems from ground up. Very first work stream around gathering the best data is a big one. We really want to be focused on the kinds of samples that maximizes the entropy in our data set. It requires deep reasoning about the scene and really quantifying the value in each sample. And we achieve this through vision language models to not only understand the scene, but to also gather targeted data towards bridging the gaps in our neural networks. We also have huge efforts towards pre-labeling or auto-labeling various kinds of tasks to really reduce the data points that need to be adjusted by humans, and hence reducing the cost. Lastly, I think in terms of AI models, we are focused on building the best-in-class foundation models that really understands the physics of the world. In addition, we have built spatiotemporal multitask neural networks that consume multimodal data from cameras, lidars, and radars to collectively express the state of the world around us. While this is all great, we do not require these models to be perfect. In our MCA architecture, we allow imperfections, and there is no single path to failure. And there is a big emphasis on interpretability, verifiability, and bounded validation cost. It also allows us to iterate quickly on problems.
Shubham, when you were talking about the success of Kodiak and what you've built and how you guys have been able to get it effectively being the first of its kind for long haul trucking, what was it about what you do at Kodiak that separated you guys from the pack? And when you look at the long-term opportunities and roadmap for AI within Kodiak, where are you spending your time? What are you excited about?
One of the things we do really well is our mapping and localization. Unlike other autonomous trucking companies, we do not use HD maps. We rather use sparse routing network, which is very much like Google Maps and allows us to scale very quickly. For our off-road missions with defense, we can actually define a new unexplored area and go drive there in under 5 minutes. This is really something that is not possible today with HD maps, which require extremely accurate localization, needs point clouds registration, and storing them require huge amounts of storage. With our unique approach, we have been able to map over 19,000 miles across the US and have been able to scale our fleets in a way that map update can be instantaneously pushed to all the vehicles. In terms of thinking ahead for our longer term AI strategy, it is very important to think about what is needed to scale up our driverless fleet. And it all comes down to having a really good automated flywheel of the ML engine where you could understand the scene at a fundamental level. Understanding the failure modes and iterating on building better versions of these models, I guess that is really critical. From time to time, you are going to come across the situations where models are not super confident in what it is seeing, mainly because the scene may be out of distribution. But recognizing that and behaving cautiously around previously unseen objects, tagging them for labeling and fine-tuning models are really the right way to get better at those next time. As we expand to thousands of driverless trucks, more and more things need to be automated. Our foundation models need to get better. And with better compute and awesome research from AI community, we would be able to reach greatness sooner rather than later.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Obviously, incredible work already done, but when you think of the acceleration that's happening within the AI space and the broader adoption across all industries, the possibilities in the near term are very exciting. When you look at the next 1 to 2 years in particular, from a technology standpoint, what are you guys going to be working on to enhance the platform to gain a technological advantage or continue with your technological advantage?
I love the progress of AI in the open source community, especially on the foundation models. With the kinds of foundation models that exist today, we are able to do so much more. For example, segmenting and tracking every single object in a video without any training data. Out of vocabulary object detection in image with text prompts by grounding images with text. LLMs and VLMs are getting better every day. With generative models, today we are able to generate multi-sensor data out of thin air. So all of these is really exciting to us. What I'm personally the most excited about is foundation models in the 3D world. It is really the next big thing. And we at Kodiak are working towards building that and really teaching our smaller, more efficient models through knowledge distillation. The next 1 to 2 years are really going to be all about scaling up our commercial driverless fleet up to a point where we will have many driverless autonomous trucks operating 24/7. It is an exciting future and it is no longer a dream.
So Shubham, on the technology side, incredibly exciting times ahead for everyone at Kodiak. How does that then translate into the people side of things? You already have an excellent team, but where do you anticipate needing to strengthen? What opportunities are there going to be for people in the AI space who are listening to this and are interested in what you're doing? Where do you see opportunity to add to the team, and what types of positions do you anticipate needing to hire for?
As we do all these exciting things, building the best-in-class AI, deploying them at scale, investing in the next generation technologies, we do need to grow our teams. We have an extremely productive and rewarding work environment within the company. Every individual owns their work end to end and has clear visibility into where it all fits into the grand scheme of things. We are always looking for great people who are motivated to come in and transform the industry. AI is really booming and we are really looking to invest a lot in that technology. So if you are a candidate, I want to convince you that this is the best company in the world to work for. If you truly care about building the most generalizable embodied intelligence and making the most difference.
So you mentioned there you want to convince people that this is the best place to work. So that's a great way to finish the conversation. When you're speaking to candidates who you feel would be a good addition to the Kodiak team, what is it that you tell them to convince them of that? What do you say to get somebody excited and interested to join Kodiak over some of the other great companies also trying to hire?
There has been a lot of hype around the AI technology in the industry, specifically in robotics and autonomous driving field. We've been hearing promises of autonomous driving technology being just around the corner, them being a real business. But for Kodiak, that future is now. We are building autonomous trucks. We announced the Gen 6 autonomous truck platform earlier this year, and today we have been operating driverless. We are the only company to have established a commercial driverless operation, and really the first company to make autonomous trucking a real business. And that is a great future to look forward to. What has really made that possible for us is AI. And there is a ton we are doing in that space. We are looking into spatiotemporal multimodal models that can take all these sensors, think many cameras, many LiDARs, many radars, and really understand the scene around us at a much deeper level. Our foundation models are state of the art. So all of these technologies are really something that pushes what we are trying to do many leaps and bounds ahead of other companies. We are making the next generation happen as we speak. So from the technology perspective, we are really the leader in this space. And if you really want to be a part of it, I think Kodiak is the best place for you to be.
Shubham, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. Really appreciate you sharing your background, your journey, and then most importantly, an incredible insight into the work that you and your team are doing at Kodiak. It sounds like you guys have established first mover advantage with getting things into production and out in the field, which in the space of AI is always huge. And then in the field that you're operating in, it feels we're only just in the first phase of what's possible. So there's a lot of exciting opportunities in store, and most importantly, a lot of career opportunities for people based on the growth ahead. So we wish you, the team, and everyone at Kodiak the best of luck in the months and years to come, and look forward to having you back on the show again in the very near future.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.